Welcome back to The Exchange. The UAW strike expanding once again. More plants shutting down. It's now hitting more than 20% of U.S. production. Shares of the big three are lower today. And Ford CEO Jim Farley is holding a call as we speak. Phil LeBeau joins us with the latest. Some pretty hot headlines already, Phil.
Yeah, he's frustrated, and you can't blame him. He believes that they have put a record offer on the table. We'll hear more from Jim Farley throughout the day. But essentially, it's what we have heard here for several days now, both from Jim Farley as well as his counterparts at GM and Stellantis. They don't feel as though there's progress, true progress being made, not because they're not trying to get it done. But here's the stage that we saw within the last hour. This is the Ford plant on the south side of Chicago where they make the Explorer. These are some of the more than 7,000 GM and Ford employees who have now walked off the job. So here are the two strikes that were announced today, the additional locations. You've got the Ford Chicago assembly plant. That's where they make the Explorer as well as the Lincoln Aviator, 12% of Ford's U.S. production. And then there's the GM Lansing Delta Township assembly plant. That is worth just under 10% of GM's U.S. production. Here is one of those GM workers who walked off the job talking with us within the last hour.
Not going to get everything that's asked for, but at the same time, we'll get something that'll make everyone feel appreciated a little more, and we'll be back to work.
Talking about that frustration, General Motors issuing a statement saying that it made a comprehensive counteroffer last week to the UAW and that they have not heard anything since last week. That's what they say is an example of their frustration. And as we mentioned, Jim Farley is talking with reporters and analysts as we speak. Quickly, also want to show you shares of Stellantis. Stellantis not named in the additional strikes today. UAW President Shawn Fain said that they are seeing progress in those talks with Stellantis. But again, Kelly, it's too soon to say that we see anything close to a resolution with any of the automakers and the UAW.
No, if anything, it looks like it's getting worse, or the way Dan Ives described it, with Ford now kind of equally in the crosshairs and this escalating battle of words between the two sides. It's also noteworthy that Ford in particular has this issue with the battery plant with cattle that they were going to do, the Chinese company. So you have GM and Ford undercutting each other as well. They're not even really on the same side here. GM doesn't want Ford's plant to qualify for the EV subsidies that will dictate, everyone staying power down the road. And Ford, of course, thinks that their approach by partnering with Chinese tech is the only way that they can do this in an economically feasible way. So they're at odds with each other. The fate of this plant hangs in the balance.
They always are.
And the rest of these talks.
Yeah, Kelly, they always are. Right. That is separate. And I know it's hard for people to keep the discussion about the Chinese involvement in this plant, proposed plant in Michigan that Ford is working on. They'll license the technology from CATL. That political discussion is separate from the discussion between Ford and the UAW. Basically, it comes down to the UAW wants those jobs, about 2,500 when it opens up, to be UAW members under the same contract with everybody else at Ford, because it is a subsidiary. It's not a joint venture. If it was a joint venture, the UAW would have to negotiate with the joint venture in terms of getting those workers organized. So that's the issue there with regard to this battery plant. Bottom line is this, Kelly. All of the automakers, they're all in the same spot right now. There is no indication that the UAW is close to wrapping this up with any of them. And what have I said for some time? The UAW believes it has leverage, believes it has momentum. And as long as it believes that, it can push these strikes to go on longer and likely add more locations. And because it's an effective way for them to put pressure, they believe, an effective way for them to put pressure on all of the automakers.
All right, Phil, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Our Phil LeBeau with the very latest.